I'm John Ellsworth with Success Strategies. I am the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage and the founder of Success Strategies Incorporated. And I want to welcome you to my presentation today entitled Leadership Lessons. Recently, I heard a really good interview on leadership with the Duke University head basketball coach, Mike Krzyzewski, who I'm a big fan of, and the dean of our business school that I went to at Duke University, Bill Bolding. I thought it contained some great lessons that I'd like to share with you today. One of the first ones that Coach K pointed out is that, and I quote, "You have to adapt to the current business culture you're in," end of quote. I think that's true for all of us. For example, in this tighter labor market, maybe we need to spice it up a little bit. Maybe we can't hire on the same standards, we should set higher standards, but maybe we can't hire in the same manner that we've always hired. On the contrary, we need to spice it up a little bit. For example, try asking yourself this question. Based on what I'm offering for this position, would I work for someone else? Not for myself, not for yourself, but would I work for someone else for what I'm offering? It's a little different twist in this tighter labor market, but I think it's a good example of adapting to the business culture that we're in, because we're in a really tight job market, as you well know. So, something to think about. Would you work for someone else, not yourself, but for someone else for what you're offering? I think it's a healthy question to be asking. A couple other lessons I'd like to point out. There's 4 others, actually. Number 1, Coach K pointed out that you must do what you love. I think that's really awesome. It's a powerful statement. You must do what you love, because as he pointed out in his interview, your fire for that activity will continue to grow. It'll continue to grow as long as you love what you're doing, because it won't even seem like work some days. It'll just be, you'll be excited to be there. I love what I do. I love working with clients one-on-one, helping them with finance and strategy issues. I just really enjoy doing that. But I have some low moments where I'm not sure I love what I'm doing. That happens occasionally. Not very occasionally, not very often, but occasionally it does. And then what I try to do is I try to ask myself, what do I need to change? What do I need to change to make myself happier about it, what I'm doing, and to get back to doing what I really do love to do with people, with clients, with prospects, speaking engagements, things like that. So I would leave you with this question. Do you love what you do? I know, particularly if you're in the dairy industry the last 4 years, it's been a tough 4 years. It's been very stressful, lower milk prices, very low margins. But I want to point out that life is far too short to go through it and spend half of your waking hours not doing something you love to do. So ask yourself that. Do you love what you do? Number 2, he pointed out, hire for the culture you want. He talked in his example, Coach K's example, about hiring assistant coaches. And I believe they're all former players. And he pointed out that he must see something in them that indicates they have the ability to coach. But the most important thing that I think he pointed out, whether it's former players or whoever you're hiring, make sure they're qualified. And the best way to determine that is ask yourself the question, do they complement the strengths and weaknesses that I have? Because you don't need to build more onto your strengths. But if this person has some strengths in an area where you may be weaker, and I can find that in my company, I have people doing tech projects and things for me, that's just not my forte. But they really help by making up for the weaknesses that I have, or the lesser strengths, if you will. Number 3, the point he makes is that we must have standards. But we don't necessarily have to have rules. Have standards, not rules, is what he said. Because the problem with rules is they're not yours. They're not my rules. They're something someone above us maybe imposed upon us. And it's hard to take ownership in them. But there's no latitude when you have high standards. Standards are greater than rules. That way, the rules don't replace sound judgment. Because we've all seen situations, whether it's credit decisions or other management decisions, where we have so many rules to follow that we follow all the rules, but suddenly we're asking ourselves, why are we not exhibiting sound judgment? And I think that's a perfect example. So have standards, not just rules. And point number 4 is he suggested that we have to create ownership. He talks about his experience as a coach of the U.S. men's Olympic basketball team. Now, as you all know, or I assume you know, a lot of those players were very successful, highly paid NBA players who were just really good at what they did. They were the very best in the world. And with them, they tend to bring big egos. He said, that's fine. Just make sure you bring your ego under one umbrella. We all are under the same umbrella. So he went on to suggest that we need to be competitive with excellence in whatever you're trying to achieve. Be competitive with excellence in whatever you're trying to accomplish or achieve. So reviewing those 4 main points, I think they're very powerful. Number 1, do what you love. Number 2, hire for the culture that you want to create within your organization. Number 3, have standards, not just rules. And number 4, create ownership within your organization where you can be competitive, but do it with excellence. I hope you found this presentation helpful. I want to remind you of some upcoming mastermind groups that we're forming at Success Strategies early next year. And again, I thank you for tuning in. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage. I'll be out here cheering for you and for your success, and I wish you the best of success in all you do. Thank you very much.